You're listening to a proud member of the FightFans Radio Network.
All right, we are live right now. FanAddicts MMA Show. I am your host, Erica Lewis. I am joined by Justin Cohey. Justin, what's up?
Hey, what's going on?
Not a whole lot, man. I mean, that was an amazing pay-per-view, though. I thought for the most part it was a pretty amazing pay-per-view. What just your initial thoughts on the card itself overall? What were your thoughts?
It was just weird. I think that's kind of like my initial thought of it. The undercard was fairly underwhelming. Then we got some pretty quick finishes, and then
some weird finishes.
Just some kind of strange finishes, like both from Maya and Chad Mendez, and then the Forrest Tito fight was kind of strange, and then the aftermath was even weirder. And then finally, you finally get to the main event, and you're all I was kind of like exhausted by kind of the emotional roller coaster that this card was. And then it starts off exactly like the first fight, and then ends with a touch of controversy itself. When initially it looked like that knee went straight to Sonnen II. Thankfully, the replay showed that it was pretty clean to the body. But,
yeah, very a la Rashad Evans and Tito Ortiz. Right.
Oh yeah, exactly. But yeah, it was wild. I did pretty good in my picks though, so I'm pretty stoked about that. So thanks again to the Fantasy Fight League guys letting me take part of that. I think I went 9 for 2 in my picks, and then out of the 9 that I got correct, only 4 of them were where I didn't get the finish correct. So hopefully we'll see myself go pretty high in the ranks and maybe get some tickets.
Oh yeah, that would be awesome, man. That would be real. That would be pretty bitchin' right there. Let's talk about the start of the card. I'm actually kind of sad that David is not joining us because I really wanted to get his thoughts on Mike Easton's fight. I was watching it with some folks. First off, before I start, we decided to order the pay-per-view through UFC.tv. Our stream crapped out right before the main event. They were extremely unhelpful in getting it back up and running. They did give me a refund, but they really did not try at all to try and fix the problem for us. So, warning, do not order your streams through UFC.tv. It's absolute garbage. Their customer service is garbage, and I hope they all burn in hell. So, having said that,
did you get to see the main event live though?
I did through other means. Let's put it that way.
Finger quote.
Through other means, I was able to actually watch the fight, but UFC.tv was...
We didn't hear you say that.
No, you didn't. I don't know what you're talking about.
Yeah, Erica drove over to my house, and then we all watched it here.
Exactly. That was the other means. I drove to Cohey's house, and we watched it there. So, really disappointed UFC.tv. I've done it once before, and it was only okay, and I will not do it again. This is fool me once, shame on you. Fool me twice, shame on me. So, all right.
Yeah, no, between the issues that they had with the Xbox Live stuff, and now hearing that the UFC.tv wasn't working too well, I think I'll just continue to order it through my cable provider. And
Yeah. See, I have a 55-inch that's not actually hooked up to any cable, so I was using my Roku to hook up through, and it absolutely crapped out. I was getting this really weird message. It was awful. It really was. Oh, I see David Wolf is online. Is David Wolf gonna call in? Because that's what I want to see. Hopefully he will. So let's talk about the first fight of the evening, Mike Easton versus Ivan Menjivar. Mike Easton won a unanimous decision. It seemed like a bit of a frustrating fight. Mike Easton was aggressive, but not really. Does that make sense? As we were watching the fight, he seemed like he was controlling where the fight was taking place, and I think that's what won him the fight. But Menjivar was on the defense the entire time. But and this is great that Mike Easton has 3 straight wins. But I feel like the UFC is going to want to see more from Mike Easton. They're going to want to see a little bit more dominance in the octagon before giving him a shot at the title. Do you agree with that?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, you and I got to see his first fight in the UFC where he had the nice finish on the undercard of the fight in DC. But I mean, what the fans have seen thus far, the people who are watching, or the casual fans who aren't trying to watch every single fight like we do, have seen Mike Easton in 2 very close fights in a row, and probably they could have gone either way if the judges were being a little wonky.
I mean, I don't know if this fight was close.
Could have gone the other way?
I don't think this fight was close, but I didn't think it was as dominant a performance as I wanted to see from Mike Easton. For your 3rd win in the UFC, I wanted to see a little bit more dominance from him. He like I said, he was controlling the fight where it was going, but I think it seemed like there were a few times that he was hesitant to really pull the trigger, so to speak. And I think, David, I was saying that I think the UFC is going to want to see, with 3 straight wins, that's usually enough to get you at least a number 1 contenders bout. But I think at this point they're gonna put him up against another a 135er, somebody who's really aggressive. I'm not sure who that's going to be, but they're going to put him up against somebody who's really aggressive, and want to see how he handles that, because we really haven't seen him. Really, it feels so. It's a little frustrating. It's like he's not really putting his foot on the gas sometimes, and I know Mike can go in there and be scary dominant, and he just hasn't quite shown us that yet. Except in his first fight, like Justin was saying, on the preliminary card where he decimated Byron Bloodworth. But I really want to see Mike go in there and try and finish a fight, and we just haven't seen that on his pay-per-view fights. It's just only been 2, to be fair, but I really would like to see that from him. David, give me your thoughts on the fight.
I thought, we wanted to see Mike finish the fight, but Ivan Menjivar's a tough customer, and in fact, like, going into the fight, a lot of people are favoring Ivan, and Mike was the aggressor. He was in control of the cage. I actually have difficulty watching Mike's fights. I get really, really nervous.
Yeah, but I can understand that, yeah.
I thought he clearly took the first round, clearly took the 3rd round. The 2nd round was a little closer. But, he landed a beautiful knee to really Menjivar's chin that might have knocked out some other guys. Mike's fought, and Jared Papazian's another a tough guy. So, he's undefeated in UFC. I would have loved to have seen a finish, but I was happy with it. I'm thinking that Mike's going to get Brad Pickett probably next. And if he beats Brad Pickett, I think Mike's looking at a title shot really soon.
Yeah, I mean, I agree that he'll be he'll probably have a title shot. I just really think that, knowing the UFC and knowing that what they want to see from their title contenders, and I just don't know if he is delivering that right now. And
there's no way they give him a title shot off of this fight. No,
I didn't say they would. I said Pickett, and after Pickett, I think the winner of that fight could very well be in line for a shot. I think with a more spectacular, with a finish here, I think.
Yes.
Could have looked at perhaps Faber Barao winner. But right now I'm thinking more probably Brad Pickett, right? Or am I?
No, I mean, I like the idea of the Pickett fight a lot. I was also thinking maybe perhaps Michael McDonald or even Yves Jabouin. I mean, that's a fight that they've tried to schedule a couple times.
Yeah.
I really want to see him fight Yves Jabouin.
I kind of would like to see Yves Jabouin. Like to see that fight. I was kind of looking forward to that fight, and I think I would like to see that fight materialize.
It's kind of a lateral fight, though. I mean, I understand you aren't that super impressed here.
I wasn't, and it hurts me to say that because I love Mike Easton, and I know what he's capable of. You know, kind of being a fan of him when he was UWC champion. I know what he's capable of, and I can understand, you know, you're in the big leagues, especially when you're this close to possibly getting a title shot. You might be playing it a little safe. We didn't see any real grappling from Mike. Mike has, you know, I think a pretty impressive grappling background. I don't know why he's not, you know, really showcasing that. I don't know. I really... I'm a little frustrated as a fan because I know what he's capable of. So I'd really like to see him pull through and really just let go in the octagon. Show the UFC brass that not only is he a charismatic person outside of the cage, but he can be somebody who puts butts in the seats, you know, inside the cage as well. And I just don't know if fans will really glob on to him.
You're not going to gravitate to him based on this fight or the Papazian fight.
We got a caller on the line. Who am I talking to?
Hey, this is Jesse.
Hey, what's going on, Jesse? How are you doing?
Hey, I'm good. How are you?
I'm good. Jesse is from that other sports show. It comes on Sundays, and I believe that is 1 p.m. Pacific time. Is that?
Oh yeah. We run our stuff out the West Coast, so we got the Pacific time rolling on.
I know. I'm a little jealous because it's not quite 15 minutes past 1 there. So we were just talking about Mike Easton's performance tonight. He got the win, but do you think that what he did in the octagon was enough for the UFC to be impressed to give him maybe a #1 contender's bout?
The kid's impressive, and I think with a few more fights under his belt, he can probably show more. But at this point in time, I think it's not even close to a #1 contender shot for this kid. Not right now. It's not in the cards.
Who would you like to see him fight next?
Ooh, that's tough. What is this? 135. I don't know. There's a lot of tough guys out there in the 135. Who are you guys thinking? I was saying Yves Jabouin.
And
Brad Pickett.
And, you know, David saying Brad Pickett.
We threw Michael McDonald out there as well.
You know, I kind of like the Brad Pickett matchup just because, you know, David had a point. He was saying that Yves Jabouin might be too much of a lateral move for him. A step up in competition with Brad Pickett. Brad Pickett is going to force him to grapple. He's not going to have the luxury of just standing in the cage and controlling where the fight takes place with his stand-up game. He's going to have to grapple. I'd like to see some of that Team Lloyd Irvin Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, and I think Brad Pickett would kind of force him to do that. So I don't know. I kind of like that matchup.
Who's Pickett's next opponent? He's got to fight himself though coming up, right?
That's a good question.
Is he on the Nottingham card?
I mean,
I know he's got a fight coming up. I can't remember the kid's name that he's fighting. People forget about Brad Pickett because I mean, you know, your casual UFC fans. You know, I don't dare call people MMA fans anymore. I don't want to get that. You know, I don't want to ruffle any feathers. They're casual UFC fans now, but people forget about Brad Pickett. You know, he's really good.
Oh my God!
I'm sorry, he's actually fighting Yves Jabouin.
Yes, I was about to say the irony right here as we're trying to figure out between Brad Pickett and Yves Jabouin, and they're fighting each other.
Yes. Look at that.
Yeah.
He can fight the winner. You guys are so on point. You guys are so on point right now that you're already picking. You know, these guys are already fighting each other. You guys are taking Joe Silva's job. I hope you guys know you're putting this man out of a job right now.
I'm saying times are tough, man. It's got to be eat or be eaten. So yeah, I think I like that. What do you think, David? I think if Yves Jabouin can beat Brad Pickett, then it's no longer a lateral move for Mike Easton.
Absolutely.
And then I kind of have Brad Pickett being a little bit more dynamic than Yves Jabouin based off of his last performance, and I would pick Brad Pickett in this fight. And I think Mike Easton versus the winner of this bout is a solid
That's where we should
matchup.
go.
Yeah, we should.
I hope Joe Silva's listening.
I mean, he is. He's always stealing. He's always stealing.
Kohi, you have to recommend that fight. That's the only way it happens.
I don't know. MMA on the reg just tweeted me Easton versus Eddie Wineland, and I said maybe take a slower road with Eddie Wineland.
Yeah,
but I like the idea of that fight a lot, though.
Oh, we got a full house tonight. We got Rob Bodine on the line with us too. What's going on, Rob?
Hey, how you guys doing?
Doing good. So you're on with me, Justin, David, and Jesse from That Other Sports Show. So we are just having a smorgasbord talking about this fight card tonight. What did you think of the fight card overall?
Well, let me first address what you just said. This was probably one of the biggest fights in MMA history. So of course you're going to have the biggest show in FightFans Radio history. Right?
Yeah. I love it.
There was a lot of. There's so much that occurred over the Twitterverse during this fight. Overall, I'll just give you a quick answer, and that is I enjoyed the card, but part of the reason maybe I enjoyed the card so much was the anticipation of the main event.
Yeah,
that I just was so happy to be watching this fight card that I just couldn't help myself but like everything. But it was interesting that someone was complaining that there were no finishes, and then all of a sudden, all the fights start ending in 30 seconds.
Yeah, we did. I mean, you look at the preliminaries, and up until we get to the pay-per-view, even Mike Easton's decision, there was nothing but decisions, and then we had two really quick finishes, and then we had another decision between Kung Lei and Patrick Cote, and of course Forrest Griffin and Tito Ortiz, and then we had a finish in the main event. Let's talk about the Chad Mendes-Cody McKenzie fight. That was a little odd. I mean, I thought it was an odd matchup to begin with, but
it was a screwy matchup.
It was.
It was a screwball matchup. Like, in my humble opinion, how the hell did Cody McKenzie even get up there enough all of a sudden to be facing off with Chad Mendes? I mean, I don't know how you guys feel about that. UFC. Like, I mean, that's the we're like, how is he in the UFC? Let alone getting like this, this big fight with Chad Mendes, who just fought for a title. But Cody McKenzie is still in the UFC, which just. I thought Cody McKenzie was. I thought I saw him on the internet on bumfights.com. I swear he was just fighting there like a couple of months ago. Now he's fighting Chad Mendes. I don't get it. I was surprised.
Well, he's Captain Morgan, and Captain Morgan gets to do what Captain Morgan wants to do, right? Am I right?
When you're the captain.
When you're the captain, you get to do what you want to do. We actually just lost David, so hopefully David gets back on here with us real quick. But Chad Mendes, when we were talking about this fight yesterday, we said Chad Mendes was going to finish this fight. And sure enough, Chad Mendes finished this fight rather quickly. Rob, let me get your thoughts. Do you think that this is the final fight for Captain Morgan in the UFC?
Well, he just changed weight classes, so maybe that will
save him.
Give him a little bit of a reprieve. Maybe one more fight. I mean, after all, I'm in the same boat that I believe that he had no business fighting Chad Mendes. You don't switch to that weight class and then fight one of the top guys in that weight class. But because that's what happened, and because it is a new weight class for him, maybe he gets one more fight. But I don't know why. Honestly, I love the guy personality-wise, but I don't know why he's still in the UFC.
Is it like one of those great mysteries of life? How did they build the pyramids? How did Cody McKenzie end up in the UFC? I get it.
That sounds like when someone tries to set you up with like one of their ugly friends, and they're like, it's like, well, I mean, they got a great personality.
That's not exactly what I was going for, but that's pretty good. That's pretty accurate.
That's a great analogy. I appreciated that because I'm sure we've all been there. So now we went there again tonight with Cody McKenzie and Chad Mendes. It was great.
So yeah, that was a weird performance. So here's the thing with Mendes. He fought Jose Aldo and he lost spectacularly. It was a beautiful loss on his part. bravo to him for falling that way. But having said that, I think he's good enough to pretty much beat most 145ers. I mean, he's a tough cat. He's got great wrestling. He obviously packs a wallop. But I'm not interested in seeing him against Jose Aldo next. So what is next for Chad Mendes? I mean, what do they do with this kid? I mean, does he get how many more wins does he need? Obviously, Cody McKenzie, beating up Cody McKenzie does not move you forward very much. But what would you like to see him do next in his 145 career?
Mike Brown.
Mike Brown, the guy who's retired and unretired. I don't like you, Mike Brown. I'm telling you right now. Mike Thomas Brown.
Hey, he just signed a 5-fight deal. He's coming off a couple wins. Why not?
Why do you offer a guy who just retired a 5-fight deal? Like, his performance was kind of garbage. He hasn't been that great since the WC merged with the UFC. So, hey, we're looking for mediocre performances from guys who are kind of over the hill. How about 5-fight deal? Like, what is up with that? What's up with that?
I don't know. Maybe it's like the Baltimore Orioles and the Redskins who signed like 40-year-old guys to like 10-year deals.
You leave my Redskins alone.
Yeah, watch your mouth, dude.
No, we're home now.
Rob,
I'm in fighting mode right now. Don't you badmouth the Redskins.
The Redskins. Y'all are going to be surprised by the Redskins this year. We say that every year, but this year we mean it. This year we really mean it. Yeah, I don't know. Chad Mendes is I guess Mike Thomas Brown, but I feel like he's going to, he's too young, too fast, and he'll give Mike Thomas Brown all kinds of fits. But does that fight really move him anywhere, or do we kind of keep him in like purgatory for a while? Bring him in.
Well, really, what does this really say about the 145 division, though, or or the 135, or all those smaller divisions? Now we've seen a few of these kind of crazy fights being put together. If Chad Mendes is to fight Mike Brown next, and Brown's not been spectacular he's not been good for like the last 3 to 5 years.
Yeah.
And so now, I mean, you put him in that fight. What does that say about the 135 division? Is it just there's just not enough talent? Should the UFC put like a little full court press on some of these 145ers, these smaller 145ers, and be like, hey man, we think it's a good idea that you maybe move down to try to build this weight class a little bit. Because to me, Mendes is obviously probably top 3 in that division, and you just gotta find better opponents for the guy. You can't feed him Cody McKenzie's and Mike Thomas Browns all day.
No,
it
you
does
can't.
nothing for his career.
As entertaining as it would be for us fans, your career doesn't go anywhere when you do that. Unfortunately, I think
Matt Brown's tough though. It's really tough.
He is a very tough dude.
Very tough.
And he would
tough as can be.
But I feel like
I don't know if you've ever heard that before.
I mean,
I don't know how many times I heard somebody say like, "Oh, so-and-so's got an excellent guillotine."
You don't want to get into it with Matt Brown.
I feel like that's what Joe Rogan says over and over and over again during the broadcast. He's tough. He's a tough guy. He's really tough.
He's a warrior.
Yes.
Matt.
Rogan and Goldie say that stuff when they actually want to say, man, this guy's a bum.
Yeah.
Matt.
I really want Rogan to get trashed one day. No, I want Goldberg to get trashed one day.
Rogan looks strange to either you, like he's doing something with his diet.
He looks old. I mean, but other than that.
Is that what's going on? Like I don't know.
He seems out of it. He was really kind of off his game tonight.
Yeah, and he got pissed at Forrest, didn't he? He seemed a little pissy with Forrest with the...
Forrest went running out of the cage. He won the fight. I don't know what the fuck he is like on his period every time he fights.
What did I tell you guys? Like when we were talking yesterday on the show, we were talking about Forrest Griffin. Like the dude's just an ass. Like, I mean, I don't know how else to put it. He is just a giant ass.
He won the fucking fight.
He won the fight. He won the fucking fight. Not just the fight, the fucking fight.
Well, then what was supposed to be a nice kind of like Tito Ortiz's moment for his retirement, now everyone's talking about, like, rather than say, good for Tito Ortiz, blah, 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 we're all talking about Forrest Griffin and his wacky self.
He's like a 3-year-old. He wants everybody to pay attention to him.
Fight, too. God damn, that was ugly.
Yeah, it really was.
Oh, my God. They got
you know what? Everybody who watched tonight's card, or at least paid for it, they really, in all actuality, they only paid for 2 fights. You know, whoever, you paid $50, $60 for this card on pay-per-view, you only paid for 2 fights. Mm-hmm. And the co-main event and the main event, that was it. And the co-main event ended up being like a whack fest. You know, it ends up being a whack fest of like Forrest and his crazy antics. He's still trying to be funny, you know, and he's still trying to be charming and amusing. And I didn't get it. I don't understand the whole run out of the cage business. Like you guys said, he won the fight. Like, why are you running out of the cage like a wild man?
Yeah, he's running.
Wild woman.
Yes, he's on his period.
He did not look like a wild man. He looked like he was gonna cry again.
Oh.
Did he cry? Seriously, did he cry?
He cried.
I just want to know. Like, I couldn't tell.
Alexander, he ran out of the cage and cried. And then there was one other time he ran out of the cage.
Yeah.
Well, that was after the Anderson Silva fight.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. I think he was still crying, though. I think you're absolutely right. But I think it's for different.
Has he been crying? Has he been crying for 2 years?
Yes.
There's no crying in MMA. The fuck do you think this is, Forrest? LA or something? What the hell?
You know, he did this because he's going to write another book.
Oh, yeah.
He's going to write another book. He's going to title it How to Run Through Life.
Crying in the Cage by Forrest Griffin.
Crying in the Cage.
No more tears.
No more tears by Forrest Griffin. Oh my God! All right, let's move on.
I think we need a hashtag, and I think we got something to trend on Twitter.
Crying
book names for Forrest's next book.
let's get it started.
How about Shut the Fuck Up, Forrest?
Oh wow! I mean, your animosity for Forrest is quite amusing, Justin. Actually,
you know what? I'm gonna tell you though. I like Forrest Griffin, and I do find him, you know, partly funny. He's kind of an amusing guy, but obviously his heart's just not in the MMA game. So when people were talking about Tito's retirement and his interest in the Hall of Fame, and then some people were bringing up, well, what about Forrest? You know, what does he do? Where does he go with his career, whether he wins or loses? And people brought up retirement. He really didn't like that. But in all honesty, that's really where his career is right now. It's done. He doesn't really care about fighting. He doesn't train like he cares about fighting. Obviously, it showed tonight because he fought like crap. Somehow he still pulled off a win. I mean, it's time that this guy starts thinking about writing, you know, becoming an author full time or something. I don't know.
Yeah, and you know, it's using the term author. I think is very has to be used very lightly here because, you know, how much is he actually writing? I mean, it's all.
Look, all good authors have ghostwriters. Come on, let's be real. He's got ghostwriters coming out the yin yang right now.
Including
he's got him in the back right now. They were in the locker room with him. They already got like first 10 chapters of his next book done just from tonight.
That is just Forrest. I really don't know what to do with the dude. Okay, let's move on.
Run, Forrest, run.
Run, Forrest, run. I would like to see that movie completely redone with Forrest Griffin. That would be
Forrest Griffin. Forrest, no.
You never go full retard.
Never go full retard.
I'm glad somebody pulled that from the archives.
we got problems. All right, so the next fight on the card, Damian Maia versus Dong Kyung Kim. This was the weirdest fight ever. Damian Maia globbed onto Dong Kyung Kim like white on rice, no pun intended. And he just...
Jesus, you! Holy fucking shit, Eric. After this program? Really? Really?
I am calling for a boycott of this show. That was racist.
Every single Asian fan ever. Ever.
I'd say I'm sorry.
Okay, we all know the brown rice is better for you anyway, right?
Yeah, you know, I'm saying.
Oh, God.
So, you know, he really was.
What did I tell you, though? I told you that the old Maya was coming back, where he just runs at you, clings to you, and then tries to get you to the ground and falls into the mountain and chokes you out immediately.
But
this time,
that's not exactly what happened.
Well, I mean, the dude broke his rib on the way down, so.
That was a weird break. I mean, when they were showing the replays, was it clear to you guys exactly what happened? It seemed like... I mean, I could see, you know, where he landed and maybe his arm was a little awkward, but I thought it was weird that his rib broke. I mean, was it... Could it
actually,
I don't think...
To me, it looked like... That's okay. To me, it looked like it was actually hurt before they went down. As I watched the replays, he seemed to be in pain before it went down. And that, to me, suggests that Maia had nothing to do with it, that this was an injury that was from training, and then eventually it just popped because of a little bit of pressure. That's just my guess.
Well, I agree with you partially on that, but when he was actually like trying to pull him down for the takedown, Maia's arm was like really deep under his rib cage. So I don't know if it was it could have been like a pre-existing thing that he aggravated, but his forearm was really deep under his rib cage, and I don't know, maybe he popped his floating rib or something right there.
Yeah, I don't know. It was very strange. It was definitely very awkward. Damian Maia gets a win, but is it a real win? Is it a true win?
He'll take it.
Yeah, I mean, if I was a fighter.
Apparently.
What's he gonna do? Give it back? He's gonna go apologize to Don Young Kim's corner and be like, "Hey guys, look, I didn't do shit to this guy. Okay, here you go. We'll call this Raw."
Hey, Erica's the one saying, "Is it a real win?"
I mean,
I'm saying,
take that paycheck. You know what, Damian? Take that paycheck. You take that money and you cash that shit. You cash that.
I agree. I mean, I'd cash the check as well, but what is the UFC going to do with him after this?
It was super weird when he just got up. Like, there was no tap.
No.
The referee didn't stop it. And Damian's like, I won.
He heard
what the fuck happened.
He heard the snap, and he was like, "There's no way this dude's getting up from this, so I won."
Yeah,
Damian just...
I have a thought. If someone can't continue from an injury, why is that a TKO and not a submission?
That's a good point. What were you going to say, Rob?
I was just going to say that I'm a fan of both guys, big fan of both guys, but I'm not happy that Damian seemed so proud that he won, because it's my guess is, again, that it's more Kim than it is Damian for the result. But to answer the question, if you tap, I guess technically he tapped, so verbally anyway. So I guess that's why they said it was a submission. But maybe they'll overrule it and say it was a TKO. I don't know.
Well, no, they called it a TKO, and generally, if you can't
go on
continue due to an injury, they call it a TKO. But to me, if you're hurt,
maybe if you verbalize,
even if it is a verbal tap, that's a verbal tap.
It's one thing. The referee stops it because you're hurt. It's a TKO.
The referee didn't even stop it. He was too busy checking his Facebook status, and then he was like, "Oh, snap! The fight's over." So
yeah, what do you call it if what do you call it if Damian Maia stops it? Because Damian's the one that stopped it.
I think Damian should also get he should get credit as being the referee for the fight as well. I think
should he get like part of that? Should he get part of the referee's paycheck for that night?
I think he should get all of the referee's paycheck for that night.
He stopped his own fight.
Yes.
He should get Evil Levine's paycheck.
Yes, he should. I think
that's a baller right there. Man, I finish my own fights. I'm out.
And I judge my own fights. That's right, 30-27 across the board, bitches. All right. That was a weird fight.
Putting it that way, I have more respect for Damian now.
He's a baller. I'm saying. He can do it all. He really can. Multitasking. Who would you like to see Damian Maia fight next, Justin?
Rick Story.
Oh, wow. You just really are not about pulling punches for people, are you? You're like, you know what? You had a freak win for your first bout at 170. Let's throw you in with somebody like Rick Story. I think that's a good idea.
It's a nice little step up, but it's nothing crazy. I mean, I think I kind of put Story and Kim almost in the same territory. Maybe Story's a little bit higher. But yeah, I mean, Story's just coming off a win himself. He didn't look overly fantastic. But yeah, I think that'd be a pretty interesting fight given their styles.
Yeah, I'd like to. Damian Maia is going to face, I think, a lot more wrestlers at 170 than he was at 185, and I'd like to see how he handles it at his new weight. We didn't get a chance to see how the cut went for him. Did he?
He looked a little small to me.
He still looked a little small, but he still looked flabby. Like, how do you lose 15 pounds and still have a belly on you? I don't know. Maybe
genetics.
Is that what it is? It's just pure genetics. He got it from his mom or something. I don't know.
It's all muscle.
It's like muscle on top of muscle on top of muscle. It kind of forms this outward bulge. That's exactly what it is.
That's what she said.
Where did you get your biology degree from, Erica? Just curious.
I got it from University of Phoenix. And
Okay.
It was
Good answer.
It was online.
She didn't have Wi-Fi though, so it was a little rough.
I got it from my word processor.
I actually joined the University of Phoenix group on Facebook, and that's how I got it.
Okay.
That's how you
cheat off everybody on Facebook.
Yeah,
You're like, hey, Paula, what's the answer to 32B?
Paula is
She's like YouTubing University of Phoenix classes.
Paula is an ex-alcoholic single mother with 4 kids out of Utah.
I love how you are trying to purposely offend every person you can possibly you can think of. I love this show. I can't believe I haven't been on here yet. It's amazing.
I love it. I love it. We are absolutely the most insensitive people, but people love us for it, right? It makes it. It's like a cute, cuddly kind of thing, right? It's like when Rampage Jackson, motorboats somebody. It's cute and cuddly, right?
Of course.
Chloroform videos.
All right, let's talk about the next fight. Let's move on. Kung Lei defeated Patrick Cote by unanimous decision. Kung Lei looked awful in that fight. Am I the only person?
Both those guys look fat.
Hey, he's a fat fucking 40-year-old. What do you want?
Patrick Cote's belly was jiggling. I found that
they both looked a little jiggly to me.
Yeah.
Like I was kind of thinking, like, wow, I thought Jello had the Jiggly Cub thing, patent, but
no.
I think Cote and Lee both stole it.
Yeah, apparently they thought that this was a different kind of fight. They thought it was a different kind of competition. They thought it was like a jiggle competition, and that's not what it was. That's not what it was.
It was a twerk. You didn't hear it was the Turk Squad fight.
Turk Squad? What the hell is Turk Squad?
Twerk.
Okay, now you're confusing me.
Justin, stop being smart. You know we can't keep up with you.
Damn, I was like making my one like kind of pop culture reference, and if no one gets it, fine, I'll go back to drinking my beer.
So, Kung Lei looked awful in there. Patrick Cote actually landed some really good combinations in that fight. Did you agree with 30-27 across the board? Did you give all the rounds to Kung Lei?
I did.
I did too.
Yeah. Well,
I didn't really pay attention.
Yeah. Dude, that kept happening to me tonight. I'd be watching a fight and I'd just be like, kind of start wandering off and doing something in the kitchen and be like, oh yeah, I'm supposed to be watching this fight so I can actually talk intelligently about it later.
I don't know. I felt the same way about the fight. I was kind of watching it, kind of not watching it. Patrick Cote will undoubtedly get it just based on UFC's history. He'll get another fight in the UFC. At 185. He's a big 185.
So really?
Oh, yeah. I mean, when you come in at short notice, they always kind of give you that, like, cookie of, oh, you came in on short notice. We'll give you another fight.
And you lost to a washed-up guy. We'll give you another fight.
We'll give you another
Look,
fight.
they're going to be like, hey, Pat, look, first of all, we love Canada, eh? And secondly, it's okay because you lost to a great actor. He's brilliant.
He is
we're
brilliant.
going to give you a second shot, of course.
Although...
Dude, his next movie looks pretty awesome.
You know what? We talked about this on my podcast. We talked about this. The Man with the Iron Fist movie looks pretty sick. But I'm giving full credit to RZA on this, okay? Not Kung Lee. I'm giving full credit to RZA.
Yeah, I'm kind of interested to see how, RZA does this. And, we talk about rappers turned actors, and the last person on the planet that I think people thought would kind of make a name for himself in movies was RZA, and he's kind of managed to do that, and he's not half bad. And I think he's directing the movie. Did he write it? I don't know if he wrote it.
He co-wrote the movie and co-directed the movie, and he stars in it. He's a triple threat. He's
kind of like Kevin Costner. The only thing he needs to do now is like do the musical score, because that's what Kevin Costner does for Kevin Costner movies, which are produced by Kevin Costner, directed by Kevin Costner, and starring Kevin Costner. Key grip, Kevin Costner.
Well, I'm also pretty sure that RZA wrote most of the songs.
Well, RZA is really good at picking music for movies, because he did the score for Kill Bill, one of my favorite Quentin Tarantino movies. I love Kill Bill.
Tarantino's the man.
So, Kung Lei won. I really do believe Patrick Cote will get another fight. It just seems that the UFC always does that. It might even be just a preliminary fight that he ends up with.
Kane.
Say what?
Louise Kane. Because Kane was supposed to fight Okami at 150, but had to drop out, so Okami's fighting Paul Harris now. So Louise Kane, when he comes back from his injury, is going to need a fight. I say it should be Patrick Cote.
I think that's a good idea. I think that's a solid idea.
I got a better idea. Let him go.
You know what? I don't know why, but I'm kind of down for that idea. You know what? I'm down for this. Let Kung Lei go too.
I know that this doesn't always work because stylistic matchups matter. But let's face it, Cote is less than Kung Lei. Kung Lei is less than Vanderlei Silva by knockout, and Vanderlei Silva is less than just about everybody else in the UFC by knockout. The only purpose to Patrick Cote is to be, as I put it on Twitter tonight, the sacrificial lamb for Kung Lei's movie star power. That's it. That's the only purpose. I mean, I know he was filling a slot. They needed someone at the last minute, but they should have given someone else their shot. Cote just doesn't belong in the UFC. So
no.
There's my 2 cents.
I was excited about Cote being back and, not taking into account how long it's been since he's fought elite competition. And, the fights that he did win against subpar competition were decisions. And you will always hear me say this on the show. If you are better than your competition, you will finish the fight. And he's just not there anymore. I agree with you. But I think, give him I think the Louise Kane fight makes sense to put him on a preliminary card, put him on, put him on a fuel preliminary card. I mean, I think that's like the biggest insult.
Put him on China. Send him to China.
Oh, God. Macau.
Put him on the Macau card. Put him on the Facebook fight on the Macau card.
Oh, wow. That is
what? If the UFC's smart, which those guys pretty much, they all got their shit together. Tonight's card was a little whack. It was kind of crazy. But, there was a lot of injuries and stuff, and sometimes you got to deal with that in a very quick fashion, in which they did, and you could tell by the fights that happened. But with Cote, you just add that guy to, another Canadian card, and let people, let all those, the crazy Canucks, they're going to run around, they're going to go crazy, because Patrick Cote is on the card, and they get to watch him fight, and, somewhere around his hometown or something or whatever.
Can you send him to Strike Force?
Oh, that's a good option. Send him to Strike Force.
Or Bellator?
You know what Strike?
I don't even know if Cote's good enough to beat like Luke Rockhold or Tim Kennedy though.
You know what Strike Force reminds me of now?
I know he's not.
You know what Strike Force reminds me of now? We've all seen The Lion King, right? You know what the Pride Land looked like after Scar took over? That's what I think of Strike Force. That's what I think of. I think of this like barren land where like there's no water and there's nothing to eat and everybody's just kind of like starving to death all over the place. That's Strike Force.
Frank Shamrock popping in and out.
With Frank Shamrock.
I should be in the Hall of Fame. I should be in the Hall of Fame.
Good luck with that, especially with insulting the person who ultimately will decide whether you go in the Hall of Fame. Good luck with that.
Well, Frank Shamrock's a brilliant man. He's got a game plan. His game plan is to insult Dana White so much that Dana White will eventually let him into the Hall of Fame. I mean, that works all the time, right?
Yeah. Oh, absolutely. Absolutely.
Usually works with Vince McMahon.
That's true. And maybe he's taking the Vince McMahon route. Also, don't forget the brilliance that was Frank Shamrock in wearing braces at the age of 40. I think that was one of his smartest moves right there because every woman loves a man in braces.
The braces on a 40-year-old man is almost as cool as watching all these NBA players wearing reading glasses with no lenses.
I'm going to get some. Just because you said that. I'm going to get some. And I'm going to have the ones that, like, I'm going to wear some on my face, and then I'm going to get that thing that you put around your neck to help hold your glasses. I'm going to have another pair there. And then I'll put another pair on top of my head that I can't find, that I'm always looking for. It's going to be amazing. Absolutely amazing. All right, let's talk about the co-main event of the evening. We have to talk about it before we get to the main event. Forrest Griffin, Tito Ortiz.
We really have to talk about this fight?
Did you have Forrest winning that fight? Everybody?
Yeah.
So you extent I paid attention to it.
No, I actually gave it to Tito, rounds 1 and 2.
I actually gave it to Tito as well. But you know, it was close. I think we can agree that it was close either way.
Yes. Yeah.
You know, I thought Tito landed the much more significant strikes of the fight overall. I mean, obviously. I mean, Forrest, as much as I love Forrest Griffin, I mean, the man has marshmallow for fists. He really just... I mean, has he ever KO'd anybody?
He gassed out after 90 seconds. Like, when he got taken down, and then he did the butterfly sweep, and that was it for him.
He was like, okay, I'm done.
Then he was like, and then you see him breathing out of his mouth. Like,
yeah.
Did his wife go into labor again tonight? Because this is the way
I think he was going into labor.
This is the way he fights when he has a child.
It was his girlfriend, okay? His girlfriend was going into labor, and he had to run out and go catch her.
Oh, so his wife is fine. Okay.
Yes.
His wife is completely okay. Don't worry, guys.
It's his
girlfriend.
girlfriend.
His wife is okay, but Forrest may not have been. He looked like he might have been going into labor.
Okay.
And then, again, he was on his period and ran from the cage afterwards.
So, you know, we talked about this briefly during yesterday's show.
Very briefly.
And I think I want to bring it back up. You know, Tito retired. Based off this performance, I think Forrest should be really close behind. I really just don't see Forrest being able to bring a whole lot of anything to the 205-pound division.
Hey, maybe Patrick Cote can get a little fatter and fight Forrest.
I'm sure that's not going to take him too long.
Yes, in one FC.
Fight at 205. I mean, he fought Tito at one point, so it's entirely possible.
Hey, that's great. Have him fight in one FC or something.
Yes, and with the what do they call the hybrid rules that they have there, where the ref can tell you it's okay to kick the other guy in the face. That was.
I have no idea watching anywhere else.
Oh my God! Watching Roger Huerta get soccer kicked was the greatest thing I've ever watched in my life.
Oh, that is just awful. I totally, if you know, there are very few guys that I would actually pursue, and I think I would kidnap Roger Huerta. I think he's adorable. He's 155 pounds, so I can't really say he's handsome. He's like smaller than me, but I think he's adorable. I think he's cute. And
Michelle Rodriguez is gonna whoop your ass.
You like the okay? Tell me, Erica, do you like the Roger with the hair, or do you like the gnome look, the weird, you know, like Lord of the Rings? Who is the creepy guy from Lord of the Rings?
Gollum.
Gollum. Roger Huerta, or do you like the slick back hair, Roger Huerta?
I don't know if I like the mafia Roger Huerta.
I want to compliment Roger Huerta on his career choices.
Oh, God, that man has made one bad decision after another. You know, as much as we make fun of Michelle Lopez, you know, she's on to something. I don't know if she's the right person to actually execute it, but there's something going on with Roger Huerta. He's made such awful decisions in his career, and it's, you know, for a guy who at one point was considered, you know, top 10 lightweight in the UFC and opted not to sign back up with the UFC and went with Bellator and lost there, and then he opted to go to
he wanted pay-per-view money.
I don't know. I think being the first,
he's never drawn a dime, and he wanted percentage of pay-per-view.
He being the first fighter on Sports Illustrated, the first MMA fighter on Sports Illustrated cover, really went to his head.
It really did, and UFC set that up too.
I blame you, SI.
Yes.
And you, SI.
Yes.
How dare you screw Roger Huerta's career?
Goddamn rag.
How dare you put that really good-looking gentleman with model looks on the cover of your magazine? Rude. Just so rude.
Well, they fucked his career up.
It really did.
He's probably shooting heroin at this point after that fucking knockout.
I would be. That's for damn sure. It's the only way to make the pain go away. All right, so
he's on the streets. He's almost on the streets. It's like, shit, Sports Illustrated, you fucked his life.
What I think you should do is stand out.
His career was going really well. I think he just blew up.
I think you should become a superhero and just stand outside of clubs and beat up guys who are hitting on women. I think that's where his he really that's where his career it should go right now, because I don't think he's got it as a fighter anymore. I think it's totally mental. I don't think it's a physical thing. I think he's still physically capable of being a good fighter, but I think it's all up in his head, and Sports Illustrated is to blame. I think you should sue him. I mean, there's been more.
I think Sports Illustrated should be blamed, and yes, I agree. I think he should sue them.
Yeah.
And then I think he should pursue an acting spot on 2.5 Men. is like the crazy, Latino uncle, that just pops up every now and then and says crazy shit.
I think he should. I mean, if that falls through, Telemundo would definitely have him. I don't think. I mean, you don't even really need to be able to. That's not insulting, is it? Telemundo is great. Let me tell you guys this. I never watched like the Telemundo soap operas, but one day I was surfing the channels and I was watching. There was this dude in the garage, right? And this guy comes up behind him and like shoots him, and guy's on the ground, and he's like, "Oh, I'm dying." And the guy who shot him was wearing a little orange scarf around his neck. I'm like, dude, you just got shot in a parking garage by a guy wearing a little orange scarf around his neck. It's like you got shot by Freddy from Scooby Doo. Hey, what kind of dignified death is that? Telemundo.
By the way, Dana White is, doing his press conference thing right now, and he says Forrest Griffin's next fight's going to be against Cody McKenzie.
Yes.
I don't even know what to say.
Which is just
I honestly think,
being like, you know what, Forrest, you suck. You can fight this piece of shit.
I honestly think that Dana should just do this. He should just get Tito one more fight, put Forrest in there, get Ken Shamrock, and they all three fight each other at the same time.
Yes.
But like kickbox, like blood sport style, where they get to like dip their fists in like that crazy glue shit and then like dip it in the glass or nails.
Yes. Can we?
Dude, that's a pay-per-view box office hit right there.
Can we get Ernie Reyes' dad to be the referee? He was the bad guy in one of those. I think it was like one of the Kumite movies with Jean-Claude Van Damme. He was the main bad guy, really big Asian dude. I think we need to have him.
Yeah.
Ernie Reyes Sr.
That dude, exactly. He can be the ref, and then just let those guys just brawl it out until like only one man is left standing.
I'm appalled that you would call that blood sport stuff. That's kickboxer stuff. Give me Tong Po.
Oh, Tongue.
Get your pop culture references right.
I can't believe I
took Sean Lee all day.
Ernie Reyes Sr. What is he up to now? Is he even still alive? I didn't even know that Ernie. We were talking about the Expendables movie, the new one coming out, and how much I really want to see it, and because I totally do. And I mean, you'd have to be crazy not to want to see that movie. And we were thinking the third one, who else should be in there? And I was like, Charles Brosnan, and they're like, he's dead. Depressing. He died in like 93. Where the hell have I been? Is he still alive? I think he's still alive. I think he could totally do it. I mean, he's probably a little flabby by now. As a matter of fact, he's been in a movie in 2010 called Submission. Oh, we need to see that. We need to see
porn?
That. It might be. It might be
sounds suspenseful.
It's some quality porn right there. All right, let's talk about
good lighting, actually some story.
Let's talk about this main event. Let me tell you why I thought that this was a pretty amazing performance by Anderson Silva. I mean, Anderson Silva usually puts on pretty amazing performances, unless you're Damian Maia, Patrick Cote, or
Talis Ladies.
Yes,
or Talis Ladies. Yeah.
But that first round, I give to Chael Sonnen 10-8. Definitely.
Yep.
Definitely a 10-8 round. Have we ever seen somebody come back that and be that dominant from a 10-8 round?
Did you hear his corner be like, Chael has no chance. You definitely have this fight.
No, I didn't.
Yeah, after the first round, they're like, you definitely have this. He has no chance. And I was there, and I had one friend over, actually. We're like, no chance? That first round looked very much like the 5 previous rounds, except for the triangle.
So, Jesse, what was the difference between the first fight and this fight for Anderson Silva, in your opinion?
Oh, man. You know what? Obviously, we all seen the first round, and I gave it a 10-8 to Chael. And I was sitting there, I just had these, like, crazy flashbacks, to their first fight. I was like, holy shit, I can't believe Chael's actually doing it again. This crazy bastard is so insane that he really, truly believes he's going to beat Anderson Silva. And that first round went pretty much to the greatest degree of awesomeness that Chael could put on without finishing Silva. And then I had read something somewhere about Chael Sonnen talking about, well, I'm going to use some spinning back fists, or I'm going to, like he was talking about pulling off some crazy,
BS, yeah,
shit, and then he did, and it completely backfired. The guy like falls down, and then the rest is history. Then he gets a big hard knee to the chest, which, by the way, is this is one more thing to add to like Anderson Silva's brilliance. That knee was perfectly placed.
Yeah, perfectly timed, perfectly placed.
Perfectly placed, right to the chest. Like, stopped Chael's heart probably for like a brief second. And, the rest is history, man. Chael can complain, all of his fans are going to complain, but what's done is done.
It reminded me a lot of the Rashad Evans versus Tito Ortiz fight, where Rashad Evans landed the exact same knee, right to the chest, right to the sternum. I mean, it looks painful, and I don't blame Chael Sonnen for not really being able to defend it. Okay, so the bonuses were announced. $75,000 bonuses. Fight of the night went to Tito Ortiz versus Forrest Griffin.
Ugh.
I got a big question mark behind that one. I think Tito Ortiz, goodbye present. There you go, Tito. Go buy yourself something nice. Go buy.
The crowd seemed to like it though.
Go buy Jenna Jameson a new vagina.
Yeah, Jenna's got to tighten that shit up. So you got to get in there and pay for that shit.
You need some like space age shit to fix that,
though. Space age vacuum bag just kind of sucks it back into place.
Oh my God.
I think this.
I don't know, like, I mean, what do you do? Like silly putty and like super glue and like some jazz hole. I don't know.
Clearly, this show is going on way past everyone's bedtime.
It really is. Okay.
Because everybody's a little delirious right now.
All right, let's wrap it up real quick. And
what about Anderson's takedown defense in that second round?
Anderson's takedown defense in that second round was phenomenal.
That's why I think, because his takedown defense was so good in the second round, I feel like he just gave Chael that takedown in the first. I think he wanted to be like, okay, I'm going to let Chael take me down. He can do whatever the hell he wants. And then in the second round, when he's all confident, I'm just going to destroy his confidence. He's going to just completely just lose whatever adrenaline he had, and I'm going to beat the piss out of him.
And that's exactly how it went. Go ahead.
I disagree with that. If you look, now I haven't seen a replay of the very beginning of the fight, but what I saw was Anderson trying to do what I think is smart against Chael and explode with strikes that Chael can't handle. And that just made him more open for Chael's incredible takedown. And, because Chael just has a really good takedown ability. And that's the way I saw it. I saw him as just kind of letting it all hang out to try and put a stop to Chael quickly and paying for it. And then once he was on the ground, of course, we saw what happened. But then when he started the second round, he was a lot more calm. And he was like, I'm going to do this a little more smartly because I don't want to be on the ground against this guy.
The fact that it had to have freaked him out that Chael managed to get mount, because I don't even remember him getting mount in the first fight. Did he manage to get?
He didn't in the first fight.
That was a bad position.
Yeah, that was a really bad position. And if Chael Sonnen actually had, a more substantial finishing game, that might have been a really short night for Anderson Silva. But I imagine Silva wasn't too worried about being finished by Chael, and he just had to endure the punches Chael was landing from on top.
He was looking for that arm triangle again too. Chael.
Yeah, he did.
He was looking for it. He wasn't going to get it.
With Anderson tonight, one thing that he started the fight off with crazy emotion. He got taken down, but I think while he was on the ground, he actually gained a lot of his composure back, which is sometimes the complete opposite of what normally happens when you get taken down. You have some dude on top just like throwing elbows and punches at you. I think he actually gained a lot of composure back. He actually defended real well from the bottom. I mean, he did take his shots, and it looked real bad. But, I mean, I think that going into the second round, I think that's like getting that little break. It's when he really did. Whoever mentioned about him just calming himself down, and he did. Like, in the second round, he just pulled it together and said, I'm gonna fight smart now. And he did what he does. When he's calm, cool, collected, Anderson Silva, he destroys people.
Dangerous mofo when he's calm, cool, and collected. You're right about that. And that was Rob that mentioned that. Yeah. Go ahead, Rob.
Yeah, I still believe that Chael Sonnen represents the best stylistic matchup and combined with personality matchup, that is, he's not afraid against Anderson Silva. And the fact that he lost in the second round speaks volumes for just how good Anderson Silva is.
Yeah, it really does.
Definitely.
Because that's the best fight you're going to get, just like Machida's the best fight you're going to get against John Bones Jones. Second round, it's over.
Yeah. And so let me ask you guys this. What's next for Anderson Silva? I mean, who is there possibly that the UFC can, put some sugar on some shit and make a number one contender for Anderson's belt?
I just said it.
Who?
John Bones Jones.
Oh, yeah.
No, you know what? I keep hearing that, and I know that's what everybody wants to go to. Everybody wants to drop the John Jones versus Anderson Silva thing.
Jones will kill him.
But Anderson's gone on record as saying he's pretty much not going to fight John Jones. He gave something like, I want to help train him, or I want to help bring him up. He's the future, some crap like that. I don't know if he's scared as much as he just doesn't want to take that legit shot at having his legacy ruined. I think Anderson's next fight most likely will be somebody like Michael Bisping. They're gonna beefcake him up, and they're gonna work something out where it's gonna be in England or something like that, and they're gonna make a big deal.
Beefcake.
And Anderson will he'll go out and destroy Bisping. But I just want to make one quick reference, or one quick thought here, is that Chael is stylistically the best that the UFC can throw in the middleweight division at Anderson Silva. Okay, and then with that being said, I was talking to some friends this past week, and they were all like, "Well, what if Chael wins? What happens then?" I said, "Oh, well, you know what? If Chael wins, he most likely ends up being a one and done kind of guy."
Yeah, no, absolutely.
Stylistically, against any, you know what? I used this. I said take Rich Franklin, and then take Chael Sonnen. I give my money on. I put it all on Rich. Rich beats Chael Sonnen. I truly believe that.
Now?
Oh, that's crazy. That's crazy talk.
No.
That's crazy talk.
No, I sort of do agree with you, but I think he would have been a two and done because he would have gotten Bisping next, and I think he would have beaten Bisping again. But
I think Bisping beat him the first time.
Nah, I don't think so. But that's okay. I think it was a close fight. My point.
It was a real close fight.
My point is this: is that you and I are on the same page here. That he is stylistically, personality, the best matchup for Anderson, but that does not by any means mean that he, by any stretch, that he is the next invincible champion. I'm not saying that at all. I'm just saying he's a great matchup for Anderson. Well, relatively speaking. But yeah, after that, it's anybody's ball game. If he had beaten Anderson, anybody could have been the champ next.
So I'm just looking real quick. I'm looking at people who are kind of turning around, below Chael Sonnen, and who could possibly be a contender for Anderson Silva.
Weidman and Munoz.
I'm still not impressed with Munoz. He's never really impressed me as a fighter.
I'm not either, but we have Slim Pickens.
Yeah, we have Slim Pickens. I actually would like to see Vitor Belfort fight him again. I think that would be entertaining. I'd like to see him get kicked in the face again. That'd be fun. Michael Bisping Michael Bisping, although he's not nearly as eloquent as Chael Sonnen at hyping a fight, I think Michael Bisping would be able to garner a lot of attention for the fight, and the UFC would be foolish not to somehow try and set that up. Chris Weidman.
He has no chance, though.
No chance.
He deserves it less than Munoz.
I agree.
I mean, I'm just so angry at the whole Bisping thing.
I think they have about an equal chance of winning, so really it doesn't matter.
I tend to think that 185 has turned itself into what 170 was a few months ago, where you kind of got a bottleneck of like 5 or 6 guys where you could probably go ahead and have them fight and then put them in a title contender sort of thing. Because this is just kind of what I was thinking, and I'd like to see Belcher fight Bisping. If Lombard wins, I want him to fight Belfort. Have the winner of Munoz versus Weidman fight the winner of Shields Herman, and then Stan can fight the winner of Okami Paul Harris.
I
And then he
imagine
can just
Justin
kind of,
has a
like,
room in his apartment where it's like all these complicated charts with like
formulas.
red string like stretching across the room all crisscross. And
Yes, the problem with what Justin's saying is he didn't do his integration properly. He forgot to add the constant when he integrated the equation. So he's wrong.
Yeah, come on, Justin, get on top of your game here, man. We're
I
counting.
didn't hear him offering any plausible sort of.
I have nothing here. I have nothing here. But I
Look, that cat's using huge words, and he's lost me. So I'm going to say he's right. he's using big ass words. I don't.
manganese. A lot of people don't know about that.
We also have, I'm still a fan of Brian Stan. He definitely has some deficiencies when it comes to wrestlers, but I think he'd make an exciting fight. They'd be able to pump that up. American Hero versus the Brazilian dude. Hello. I don't know who else you could really put in there. I think that's essentially it. Alan Belcher.
I think Lombard's probably going to be. Lombard and Bisping are the two guys I think that they're looking to push into that position to fight.
And depending on who Alan Belcher faces next and how he looks in that fight, he might end up with a title shot that he doesn't really. He's not really ready.
I would
for.
prefer to see Alan Belcher over any of those guys anyway, except for maybe Michael Bisping. I'm not sold on Munoz at all. I think Bisping is more well-rounded, and I think Alan Belcher overall is more well-rounded than Bisping.
I got to tell you, Weidman's going to win.
Boxing style, his ground game is decent.
You think Weidman's going to win?
I think Weidman's going to beat Munoz anyway, and I think Weidman's got some crazy wrestling. I think that dude's a real contender.
I think he's just overall
actually
a more diverse MMA fighter than.
I like Weidman for it, but he's
so
still
young though.
young.
He's so young and so new to the sport.
That sounds very familiar. There's this guy named John Jones that people used to say that about.
Yeah, exactly. I'm thinking along those lines too. And really, Weidman, he's advancing very quickly. If he beats Munoz, then maybe one more fight before you could deny him.
Yeah.
Before you have to give him the title shot at that point, because Munoz it's got to be considered top 5, top 3.
Yeah, I think he's considered definitely in the top 5.
So he's not going to make a lateral move after that. If he beats Munoz, then I think he's knocking on a title shot door.
I just don't want to see Lombard get one win in the UFC against Tim Boetsch and then get a title shot. I want to.
Tim Boetsch might beat Lombard though. Too.
I like Tim
exactly.
Boetsch.
But, I mean, that's an extreme.
With his redneck judo. I'm sorry, he won me over with the redneck judo. I think that's just awesome. I like it when people just make up names for their styles. That's just awesome. All right, guys.
I think it all just boils down to somebody's got to fight him next.
Yes, it really does.
And you can make an argument against each and every one of these fighters.
Yeah.
It's just the way it goes when all the top guys have to fight each other. Everybody's got losses on their records. Some people have boring styles. Oh well.
Yeah.
I'll save everybody the time. I'll save everybody the time right now. You cut me a check. I'll fight Anderson Silva.
I'm saying.
Look, I'll do it. I'll take one for the team, guys. I'll take one for the team. I'll cash my check. I'll fight the spider.
Based on the paycheck you would get, I don't know how much that's taking one for the team.
$5, Erica, Rob.
Dude, I'll do it free. I'll do it free.
That's crazy talk.
And I'm not saying I'm going to win. I'm going to get killed.
You got good insurance? Because I was hoping for a fat paycheck to cover my medical bills.
I do now.
I'm saying.
Hey, UFC has a good insurance policy now anyway.
Like these guys, I'm an attorney, so I had to take that shot there. Yes, I have good insurance now, apparently.
All right, guys, let's wrap it up. Really want to thank Jesse from that other sports show for coming on and chatting with us. Jesse, go ahead and plug the hell out of your show right now for us.
Oh man, it was wonderful to come on, and thanks for inviting me on. And it was great talking to all you guys. It was great, just shooting the breeze and whatnot, and covering that classic UFC 148. That's what it's going to be known as. I'm pretty sure.
Yes, absolutely.
Look, for anybody that cares and will listen, that other sports show airs Sundays 1 p.m. Pacific time. It is also on Blog Talk Radio. You can get the link from me. My Twitter handle is JTT81. And we talk sports. That's all we do.
Yeah, and that other sports show, they talk MMA and they talk everything else as well. So whereas we have limited ourselves just to combat sports, they open up the doors to everything. When football season comes around, though, Jesse, you, me, we gonna talk some shit, man. We gonna talk some real shit. When come football,
you're in a better position than I am. I'm a Buffalo Bills fan. Okay.
Oh, I'm sorry.
So,
I'm really
we're
sorry.
limited to
please
MMA
shed some tears for me.
and insulting various ethnic groups.
Yes, that's kind of what our show is about. It's about MMA and insulting as many groups of people as we possibly can. All in one breath.
I love that.
I love to do parting shots when I'm on this show. I have 3, real quick.
Oh, go for it, Rob.
Number 1, the 3 things that I learned tonight. Erica is a horrible, horrible racist. David Wolf also got his biology degree at University of Phoenix because he thinks Forrest Griffin, a male, can menstruate and go into labor at the same time.
What's menstruating, by the way?
And the third thing
I got my degree in a Cracker Jacks box, pal.
And the third thing I learned tonight, way to go, fucking Mike Easton, who's going to be all over the bantamweight division, local guy, and everybody, and not just us local guys, like him. Everybody's going to like him because he likes to fight.
Yeah.
And I just wanted to give him a plug, just as kind of the local guy that's hopefully going to be the future of the bantamweight division, but we'll see.
Yes, absolutely. All right, Rob, and how can people follow you on Twitter?
MMA Dork, because I am a dork.
And
I love MMA.
That's awesome. All right, guys, anything from you, Justin? Justin, when can we expect the Cohee's Corner to come out?
Toby's Corner will be up. Hopefully, I'll be able to get something on well, not on paper tomorrow. But I did want to say that in the Fantasy Fight League, I am in the top 10.
Oh, that's excellent. And for anybody who is listening or will be listening, please go and register with Finishal's Fantasy Fight League, and that is FantasyMMAWorld.com. They offer an amazing grand prize, 2 UFC tickets. To a future event that includes hotel and airfare. So if you're a UFC fan, you need to get on there, get your predictions in, and get in the running with Justin, because it looks like Justin's going to try and run away with this bad boy right now. David, any parting shots from you?
Anderson Silva, best ever. Mike Easton, living the dream.
I love it. Nice and simple.
And Chael Sonnen robbed.
Chael Sonnen robbed, yes. That was a robbery. He didn't know the fight would end that way.
He grabbed his shorts.
He thought you'd get an auto win.
Touching his chin.
He thought you'd get an auto win for a spinning back fist, whether it hits or not.
Exactly.
Anderson took advantage of a slip. It's not that good.
All right, guys.
These 6 years have been an illusion.
We are going to go off right now as we continue to talk shit. All right, guys.
Overrated. 15-0. Overrated. He sucks.
I could take Anderson Silva.
That's the Silva shit.
Play the music quickly.